Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Edward Segal, and I am currently attending LAVC with the intention of transferring in 2 years. I was born and raised in LA and have lived in the same old apartment in Van Nuys for the past 15 years. The same old apartment. Right now, I'm majoring in broadcasting and journalism, but this wasn't always the case. In the first semester of school, I actually wanted to pursue psychology as my career choice. I was always interested in how the brain worked, and I thought I would do well to study it. But then I took this College 101 course, which opened me up to telling my story and finding my path in life. And I did just that. I took a look at psychology and thought about if I really wanted to pursue it, if it would really be a good fit for me. And I realized that it's more of a hobby for me. And I didn't see myself pursuing it and studying it 10 years from now. So after I came to the realization that psychology wasn't for me, I started thinking about what could be for me. And I realized I have known all along. I have circled through wanting to do many things, but the first thing that I wanted to do, and the thing that I want to do now, is broadcasting. I have known all along I wanted to do it, namely in sports, and that is because I've done it since I was a little kid. I had doubts about, how much money they would make and about how many opportunities I would get as a broadcaster, but since I was a little kid, it's something I've always enjoyed doing, and I have to take that risk. So the reason behind me wanting to be a sports broadcaster lies within my hobbies. Growing up, I fell in love with the game of basketball, bounced around from rec league to rec league, played in parks and then at the YMCA and at my schools, won a few championships, but the only thing in common between those different teams I played on is that I was trash in all of them. I was always a bench warmer, and broadcasting was always something I had to fall back on. It was just that thing for me that I could do whether I was on the bench or even on the court sometimes, or in my living room watching an NBA game. And, my idea to look back at this opened me up to pursuing broadcasting as my career. My other hobbies include doing jigsaw puzzles. I just finished a 1,500 piece one. Watching Netflix shows like Cobra Kai and Queen's Gambit, highly recommended, by the way. And playing chess. And funny enough, I was actually watching a chess tournament while writing this speech. I'm taking Communications 101 to help me with what I'm majoring in. In order for me to be a broadcaster, I need to improve my communication skills, which, as you could probably tell from the speech, are not very good. And so that is why I'm taking Communications 101. I want to hone those skills. I want to work on them. Becoming a broadcaster is difficult, but it's rewarding in that you get to meet a lot of famous people with various stories on the job. If I had to choose a famous person to meet, the obvious answer would be Kobe Bryant. He was one of the most hardworking, well-respected athletes of all time, and as a broadcaster, meeting someone like him is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But since that is no longer a possibility, somebody who is still with us who I would choose to meet would be William Zabka. Now, there's my Cobra Kai obsession at work. Zabka plays Johnny Lawrence on Cobra Kai, and he's arguably the main character, and he's definitely my favorite. The reason it's him I would want to meet is because his life, the life of the character he plays, has been a roller coaster ride. He has the wisdom somebody who's been in the trenches, in rock bottom, who's in his 50s would have. And he showed how if your life ends up in the shitter, as he would say, there's still hope for you. You could always recover and bounce back and be a better version of yourself. That is a lesson most people like me could learn from, which is why I would want him to interview, which is why I would want to interview him out of all people. So there's me in a nutshell.